Hi, in this video we're going to be talking about how to tell the time on an analog clock. So to begin with, it's important to know that there's 60 seconds in every minute, 60 minutes in every hour, 24 hours every day, and it can keep going on, so you have roughly 30 days in a month, 12 months in a year, so on and so forth. So here we have an analog clock. So that's this big circle with two hands. There we have the short hand, which we call the hour hand, and the long hand, which is this green one here, which is called the minute hand. On this particular clock, we have a second hand, as I've got it set to my current time right now, which is 2:30 and 52 seconds. You can actually also call this 2:30. So I'll quickly show you why we can call that 2:30. So now I've just got it as 2:31. Drats, but that's okay. So if I imagine that this minute hand is right on the bottom, so I might try and just change the color here. It's right on the bottom here. Then we can actually see if I split the clock up into two sections. So I've got this section and this section. So just color it in. So you can see this section here, the minute hand, if I don't know if this is a visual way of showing it or not, but the minute hand might have started here, and then it's gone all the way around, and it's gone half of the way around the clock. So I can call it half past whatever the hour that was. So it's gone half the way around the clock. If it goes all the way around the clock, it's the next hour. So that's why I call it 2:30. So the hour hand is always pointing to the hour. In this example, my hour hand is in between 2 and 3. It should be actually exactly halfway between 2 and 3 if it was 2:30. That's not quite 2:30, but yeah. So often the question is, well, what is it? Is it 2 or is it 3 o'clock? What one do I write down first? Well, it's important to know on a clock what direction clockwise is. So clockwise is the way that the minute hand or the hour hand or the second hand goes. So they always go this direction. So that's important to know. Anti-clockwise is also important. It's the opposite direction, so the way that the hands are not moving, so this direction. So why do we need to know that? Well, an easy way to know which hour should I pick, 2 or 3, because it's between both of them, you always want to pick the one that is anti-clockwise between those two. So what's the one where the arrow is pointing towards? It's pointing to the 2. So I would say it is 2 something. Yeah. That would be the same example if I quickly exit out of this and not do real time. So if I just make a new clock and I say it's about here. So I've got my hour hand is between the 7 and 8. It's not quite on the 8 yet. So do I write 8? Well, no, I don't, because I look at the anti-clockwise. It's going this direction, so the arrow is pointing all the way down to the 7. Yeah, it's going the one between 8 and 7. It's wherever the arrow is, so anti-clockwise, so the 7. Generally speaking, it's nearly, or 11 times out of 12, it's always the smaller number of the two, except for when the hour hand is on the in between the 1 and the 12. That's the only time it's not the smaller number, because anti-clockwise is actually the 12. So this would be, I'd write 12 as my number between 12 and 1. So I say it's 12 and then the minute hand. Great. So let's have a couple examples. So hopefully you know this already, but if I just go to, so if I show you 2 o'clock right here, the hour hand is on the 2. The minute hand is on the 12. So we always say the hour first. So I say it's 2, and then the minutes. One way to show minutes is it's broken up into 60 parts. So at the top, it's at its 60 part, or it's 0 it's 0 parts. So you can write it as either 0 or 60. On every whole number for the minute hand, you count by 5. So when the minute hand is pointing to the 1, you can say it is gone 5 minutes. So the 2, it's gone 10 minutes. Keep going by 5, so keep counting by 5. It's now 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So you can see here that it's 2:45 because my minute hand is on the 9 and I counted by 5s until it got to the 9th time. So 9 times 5 is 45. It's between the 2 and 3, so I say it's 2 because it's the smaller one of the 2, or the one that's anti-clockwise of the 2. So the time is 2:45. Again, another way of saying 2:45, I think of it as fractions. If I broke it up into 4 parts, the minute hand's gone all the way to the 3, so it's gone a quarter of the way around the clock. Then it's gone to the 6, so it's gone half the way around the clock. It's gone to the 9, it's gone 3/4 of the way around the clock. So it's actually, if I change the color here, it's got 1/4 left until it gets to the next hour. So that's why we're allowed to call it a quarter until it's 3 o'clock. So I call it a 2:45. Last thing, so if it's on the 10, you could call it 2:50 because I can count by 5s again. So I got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So my 10 was at the 50th minute because remember it's broken up into 60 parts. With the hour hand, I just say whatever number it's anti-clockwise to, so it's 2:50. I could also say it's got 10 minutes to go until it's 3 o'clock because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 till to 3, so I can call it 10 to 3. And last one, if let's say I've got my time here, if it's not on a whole number at all, then I can count each individual one as one number. So again, I can go, well, it started at the 1, so it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. And then when I count by 1, so I've got 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. So it's between the 2 and 3, so it's 2:59. So that would be another way of saying it, or it could be 1 minute to 3, 1 to 3. That would be how I tell the time.